Hey there, I'm Tori Beach, and I am a solo wedding videographer. The getting ready section of shooting a wedding can be a little bit hairy, as there are a lot of people in a lot of different places all at once. So how do you shoot all of those events when you're only one person? Most weddings are all roughly the same, and so over time I've gotten used to how the getting ready section goes, so I'm pretty much prepared, but I kind of want to walk you through some of the things that I always make sure that I am aware of and kind of the process of how I shoot these things. The first thing about shooting the getting ready section is a schedule is really important. For me, I always try to get my hands on a schedule, and the one with the more details in it, the better for me. It helps me to know that I'm not missing anything. The other thing that I always try to make sure that I do is to become friends with the photographer as quickly as possible. When the photographer is in the room with their second shooter, I know that that is an important moment because they are both there to capture one moment. So if they're in the room together, I need to be in the room with them. I like to arrive about 30 minutes before the bride gets into her dress. This gives me enough time to capture those moments of getting the hair touched up and maybe some last minute touches on the makeup, as well as some of the fun camaraderie between the girls. At some point between me arriving and her getting into her dress, the photographer and her second shooter usually take the dress to go shoot on their own. And I like to follow them out for this point because it allows me to get some really beautiful detail shots of the dress and of the shoes and all the other accessories. So once the details of the dress have all been shot, then it's usually go time for the bride to get into her dress. This goes the same way about every single time. The bride knows this is more of a setup shot. The photographers like to pause moments and move things around and get it into the right lighting. So it does allow me to get some wide shots. It also allows me to get some close-ups of hands doing buttons and a close-up on her face as she's putting in her earrings and the veil being put on. All these moments are pretty much always staged. So it does help me to kind of move around and get lots of different shots all at the same time. One thing when you are shooting by yourself is you do need to make sure that you give yourself multiple angles. Knowing how long to shoot a shot for, that it's usable, but also that you're not wasting time on one angle. So after the bride gets into her dress, it's usually reveal time. You know, the mom steps back and just admires her daughter in her dress. A lot of times that's a moment where the mom goes, oh my gosh, this is really happening. And then there's some beautiful tears and a little moment between mom and daughter, and that's really sweet. Those are kind of things I want to stay around for. Those are really memorable moments. And then usually from there, we go into photos with the whole bridal party. And this is really when I keep my eye on the second photographer. So I like to get some shots of the bride with her bridal party when they're all dressed up. Once I've gotten a good feel of all of those photos and maybe a couple of portraits of the bride, I watch to see when the main photographer sends the second photographer off to go shoot the guys. And as soon as they do that, I follow the second photographer. This gives me a chance to get all those shots of the guys, and the guys are so much faster than the girls. It's pretty much retie your tie, put your jacket on and tie your shoe. And the guys are very laid back most of the time, and you get a lot of the same shots. It just happens way faster. Since it's a little bit more staged, you have some time to get different types of shots. If the groom got any special gift from the bride, like a watch or cufflinks, I like to make sure that I get those details as well. And then usually the second shooter will take the guys out and get a couple shots with the groom and all of his groomsmen. So I get, again, those kinds of shots as well. So when it really comes down to it, it's a lot of moving parts, but it's all segregated at the same time. Really look at where the photographers are, and wherever they both are at the same time, those are important moments that I can't miss. But if they split up, that's when I have to make a choice. And for me, usually I've gotten everything that I need to get of all the girls when the two photographers are together, that I can sacrifice whatever's going on to go shoot the guys. So there's just a couple tips of how to shoot the getting ready section. What questions do you have for me? What things would you like to see me cover in a video? Please feel free to leave all your suggestions and questions in the comment section below. Thanks so much.